Welcome to the Fear and Greed Business News Afternoon Report for Wednesday, the 28th of February, 2024. I'm Sean Aylmer. Every afternoon, we've got the 5 stories that happened today that you need to know about. Story number 1, the S&P ASX 200 closed down just a couple of points to 7,660 points. Consumer staples and telcos were the laggards, while tech stocks did best. Now, why is that the case? It's all about companies going ex-dividend. There was a bunch of companies going ex-dividend today. Bendigo and Adelaide Bank, Beach Energy, the Lottery Corp, Fortescue Metals, Woolies, Telstra. That's why some of those big companies like Fortescue and Woolies and Telstra all ended down today. Generally, the banks, the big miners and the retailers all tended to be lower. Xero was a standout, up more than 4%. Shares in APM surged 13% after the company said private equity suitor CVC had revised a non-binding offer valuing the employment services company at $1.2 billion. And transport services company Kelsian dropped 12%, the worst of the top 200, after it released its results. Story number 2, Labor's revamped Stage 3 tax cuts have passed the Senate, meaning 13.6 million taxpayers will get more take-home pay from 1 July. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese called it a huge win for taxpayers, and the government has pushed the line that the changes reflect different economic circumstances to 5 years ago when the original legislation was passed. Under the new rules, those earning taxable income of $40,000 receive a tax cut of $654, in contrast to receiving no tax cut under the original design. Someone with taxable income of $100,000 will get a tax cut of almost $2,200. That's about $800 more than expected. But individuals earning $190,000 will get $4,500 in tax cuts, about half of what had originally been legislated. Story number 3, shares in financial services group Perpetual fell 2% today after it reported a lower than expected half-year profit. Plenty going on at Perpetual. Last year, it acquired rival fund manager Pendal, and then its largest shareholder, Washington H. Soul Pattinson, pushed the board to consider a breakup of the business that could involve the sale or demerger of the corporate trust business, considered the jewel in the crown. That's from the wealth management and asset management businesses. Analysts expected an update today, though there wasn't one. Instead, Perpetual said the review is progressing. Story number 4, in the penultimate day of profit season, there are plenty of results around the place. Neuren Pharmaceuticals share price fell 11% after sales of its debut drug in the US were below expectations. Now, this is the company whose drug licensing partner in the US, Arcadia, was targeted by short sellers last week, triggering a fall in both Arcadia and Neuren's share price. Neuren stock is now down almost 20% in the past fortnight. Engineering group Worley swung to a profit, helped by a jump in its professional services income. Its share price rose 3%. NextDC share price jumped more than 13%, even though the data center owner reported a net loss over the half. The company is spending money on new data centers and believes it can capitalize on the AI boom, and a bunch of investors believe them. And finally, story number 5, European military heavyweights Germany and Poland, the United States and NATO have said they will not be sending troops to Ukraine after French President Emmanuel Macron raised the possibility earlier in the week. The head of NATO said the US-led military alliance had no plans to send combat troops to Ukraine after other Central European leaders confirmed they too would not be providing soldiers. In the US, National Security Council spokeswoman Adrienne Watson said President Joe Biden has been clear that the US will not send troops to fight in Ukraine. After the French president's comments, Moscow warned that a direct conflict between NATO and Russia would be inevitable if the alliance sends combat troops. That's it for the afternoon report for Wednesday, the 28th of February, 2024. Michael Thompson and I will be back tomorrow morning with the Thursday edition of Fear and Greed Business News. I'm Sean Aylmer. Enjoy your evening.